All right, what's up, YouTube? All right, so I wanted to speak on Terence Crawford and his tweet. All right, after the after or during the Manny Pacquiao Keith Thurman fight. All right, he tweeted, something about the hate is real, and they didn't even acknowledge him as the champion. He's basically speaking on a banner that was put up during the the pay per view event between Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman. They showed Sean Porter, who was a champ. They showed Keith Thurman, who's a champ. They showed Errol Spence, and then they showed Manny Pacquiao. They didn't even acknowledge Terence Crawford. Now, I saw it, I peeped it, and I noticed it before I even saw Crawford's tweet or anything. I noticed it, and I said, okay, slick move there. But that's just about it. I didn't even expect it to be anything. I just saw it, and I was like, oh, that's kind of slick how they did that right there. But okay, it is what it is. Then I saw Terence Crawford tweet it, and I saw everyone reacting to it, and I look at it like this, man. You guys know my opinion on this whole Crawford Spence thing and all of that stuff, and the whole PBC. Nobody on PBC wanted to fight Crawford. Nobody wants to do it. Everybody's saying whatever they gotta say. Keith, leading up to this Pacquiao fight, he has even entertained a thought of ever fighting Terence Crawford. Okay, Sean Porter, same thing. He's never entertained fighting Terence Crawford. Errol Spence has. All right. Now, when they had that face off and they were going back and forth, it was all fun and all good. I felt like Terence Crawford proved that he really wants to fight, whereas Spence was more like, well, I'm going to clean up this side first and then I'll get you. You're on the wrong side of the street, all that stuff. So I sided with Terence Crawford when it came to that because my point I was making was like, look, Keith don't want to fight you. Porter don't want to fight you. So fight Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Terence Crawford's been undisputed already. He came up. He's trying to fight everybody. I felt like Errol Spence was trying to fight everybody too. But when it comes to Terence Crawford, it's different. With all that being said, though, as far as this banner, I wouldn't expect anything else. I mean, you fight over there with Top Rank. These guys fight right here on PBC. And they replace you with Manny Pacquiao, the guy who is the new WBA champion. Okay? He won the fight. And that's Manny Pacquiao at the end of the day. That's their four top guys at welterweight. So they put those four. They put up those four. Terence Crawford don't need to be worried about PBC acknowledging him. Because those fighters over there are not even acknowledging you. So the network or the promoter is not going to acknowledge you when they don't have to and when they don't have any plans of fighting you. It's not their business to promote you. That's not a fighter thing. That's a promoter thing. And this is why I don't defend promoters or advisors or these whatever. I understand. Listen, they all have a place. They all have a place in this sport. I get it. But this is a reason why we don't get the fights we want to get because there's too many hands involved. So let's just not forget that Top Rank and HBO existed not too long ago, and they was running the show when it came to welterweights. As far as if outside of Floyd, the cash cows were over at Top Rank when Pacquiao, Marquez, and Tim Bradley were over there. They kept it in-house. Top Rank kept it in-house. They weren't making it their business to promote Showtime fighters. This is before PBC. They had a WBO champion title, which was a top rank title. That was their title. It belonged to a promoter. It stayed within that house at all times. So let's not forget that the same thing was happening on Top Rank. I know a lot of us have short-term memory and all that, and I am riding with Terence Crawford when it comes to everything. I think he's the best fighter in the world, pound for pound. I think he's the only one that truly wants to fight everyone. But let's not act like Top Rank wouldn't do the same thing if they had that stable of fighters, because that's already been proven. But Marquez retired, Tim Bradley retired. There's a lot of the guys that were there around that time that is not relevant anymore. Okay? Let's not forget that that went down. And being that Terence Crawford is a top rank fighter, listen, I get it. You signed, you stayed with the promoter you were with, for whatever reason, whether it's for the money, whether it's for just straight off loyalty. It's not like other fighters, especially black fighters, because people make it a race thing when it comes to Bob Arum. Listen, there are new fighters that are still signing with Bob Arum. Black fighters too. They all do it. Depends. I don't know. We're not sitting in the office. I don't know how much money Bob Arum is offering a Shakur Stevenson or a Terence Crawford or whoever else over PBC. I don't know. I don't know. There are black fighters that are still going to Top Rank. There are black fighters that are still going to Golden Boy. There are black fighters that are still going to the Zone. It's not like they're all just going to PBC. So I don't know why Terence Crawford stayed there. But what I do know is that fights can be made no matter what network you're on, no matter what promoter you are on. And what I do know is that the promoters, all of them, and this is why I never defend them, if they can keep the fights in-house, they will. They will continue to do it. They all would do it. They all want to make fights in-house. And then at the very, very end, if there's a super fight, if everybody cleaned house, then we'll say, all right, let's go and let's have that big fight with that other big fighter on the other side of the street. That's what they'll do. Or if you are a DAZN matchroom fighter and your fighter is not as popular as the PBC fighter or vice versa, then we'll be like, okay, we'll make the match. Andy Ruiz just went in for Anthony Joshua. It's not like the fights can't be made. The fights can be made. It depends on your level of importance and relevance. We know how these promoters get down, and this is why I don't defend any of them. I don't defend any of them. Good that they do make the fights. They do put on the cards that we get. They do pay the fighters and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, when it comes to actually receiving fan service and getting the fights that we should be getting, the best fighting and best, they're part of the problem. Plus, these fighters sign in these contracts where they have to stay with that network or that promoter for a certain amount of fights before they go on and do their own thing and become a free agent. So Terence Crawford, yes, I feel you. I understand you want to just go and do what you did at 140 and move up and fight all the other fighters. I get that's what you want to do, but it is what it is. You're a top rank guy. They don't need to fight you. That's the way they're looking at it. I don't like it. I don't like it, and I won't defend it. But as far as them placing a banner without you, it is what it is. So what? So what? Who gives a shit? Like, so what? They don't have to place a banner with you up there. They don't have to. It's not going to change my opinion or anybody else's opinion about how they feel about you. We want to see the fights. At the end of the day, doesn't matter if they don't place you. They're not going to. They don't want to promote you. You don't fight for them. It's not like WWF was promoting WCW fighters back in the day. And I know that's a stupid comparison because it's wrestling, whatever. But it is what it is, You fight on a different network with a different promoter. You fight on ESPN. This is Fox. Now I know when it comes to other sports, yeah, but other sports are regulated differently, like the UFC. They have one belt. They have one belt. They don't have promoters. They don't have any of that stuff. They don't have that. All right, so all I'm basically saying is the banner. I saw it. It didn't really mean anything to me. All right, Jamal Charlo, same situation. He's at 160. When he was at 154, guess what? The majority of the fighters at 154 are PBC fighters. Lara, Charlo twins, uh, uh, J Rock, Hurd. But guess what? When Andre was down there, he couldn't get a fight with any of them. He couldn't get the fights like that. But now he moved up. Now he moved up. And now Jamal Charlo is the one that's on the outside. He's the outsider at 160. He's a PBC guy, you know? And none of these guys are trying to make a fight with him. Triple G doesn't really want to fight him. Canelo doesn't. I'm not saying they ducking him. I'm saying they don't care to fight him. Canelo doesn't fight him. Triple G doesn't want to fight him. You know, Andre, I don't know what Andre, they seem to all be chasing Canelo. So it's the same thing. Terence Crawford, you're the lonely guy over there. You're the lonely champ down at 147. But once upon a time, your promoter kept everything in-house, just like PBC is keeping everything in-house. So this video is not about the fighters, okay? The fighters, of course, they're responsible too. But we already knew that. But what I'm saying is, let's not have short-term memory. All these promoters are the same, and they've proven it at time after time again. They're about their own first. So there's nothing that PBC is doing right now that is new. It's not brand new. Their system and the way they're doing things, it's not brand new. I don't like it, but I didn't like it neither when Top Rank was doing it, because I was back here making videos saying that this fighter should be fighting this fighter. Showtime, HBO. We've been talking about network wars and promoter wars for years. I know I've been doing it, and it's been going way before I even came around making videos. All right, so that's how I feel about that. I just don't want people to just like, all right, so what? PBC is doing that. Okay, we know that already. Terence Crawford, I was thinking, maybe Ugas. I was talking about Ugas, being that he is, I consider him now to be a top welterweight. But even though he's not like super super famous and like super, this is not an undefeated fighter. Maybe I would let him go over there and fight Terence Crawford. I don't know. Maybe he would, because there's not too many names left. You fought Khan, and that fight was a wash because of the way it ended, and because Khan is just he's been taking his losses. He's not as relevant anymore. He's not the same. He's past his prime. There's not many people available for Terence Crawford, and it sucks. But he's still getting a solid paycheck every fight, so that's cool for him. But hey, yo, you sign with Top Rank knowing that this is a possibility. And I'm not going to be that guy, because I see people doing it, and even fighters are doing it now. I'm not going to promote fighters that are sitting here telling people to sign with, like, all of that is really, really corny. It is really, really corny. But at the same time, when you sign with Top Rank, that should have been part of the negotiating. Yeah, okay, what money am I getting? Cool, boom. All right, so what fights can I get? What fights can you promise me? And then there's guys that are neutral, like a Kell Brook. He's neutral, but guess what? Kell Brook didn't take the fight. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. Last thing I heard about Kell Brook was him considering retirement. I don't know how truth that is, but we'll see. All right, there's a few fighters out there that are neutral, but there's not many left. All right, PBC runs the welterweight division for the most part. All right, so I'm gonna leave it at that, man. Video is much longer than I wanted to be, but I wanted to go back into like the recent past. And Terence Crawford, I support him big time, but the reality is you're the odd man out, and they don't have to promote you, man. They don't have to acknowledge you. They don't have to, whether we like it or not. They don't have to. I don't like none of these promoters. I hate every single one of them. Be honest with you. All right. Make sure you guys subscribe. All right. Peace.